Eagles Galaxy, World, Nation, Universe, fam, whatever we hear, we at the spot like every other Wednesday night. But what's different tonight is we got a quality win on Sunday. We did add a nice piece and rumblings that we might be adding another piece. But before any of that, I want to say I was very critical of my team last week, and I feel as though that was deserved, as were my co host. But I would like to say this week, I feel in much better spirits about the organization, how we're feeling, and where I think we're going. Another game this week, it don't stop. But we need to bounce back and show, hey, we slipped up. We got caught slipping. We got a little too cute, but we fixed it. I'm not 100% confident that we've completely fixed it, but it's a lot better than it was. So, with that being said, it's time to bring on the squad so we can get to it. Why? What it do, man?
What's happening, man? 6-1, riding high, top of the NFC. We feeling real good right now, and I'm excited to get into what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah. And then Diva, what it do?
What's happening? Yo, we got that dub we thought we weren't going to get, but we got it. And guess who else lost? The 49ers. Yo,
the Santa Clara football team. You want to act like Dallas? I'll treat you like Dallas.
Their QB got knocked out again, trying to do a QB sneak and doing it unsuccessfully too.
Y'all see these people trying to do the tush push and can't do it. Like you can't do it. You're not
can't replicate it. Nick got real sassy with him during the press conference after the game too, and everything.
He was spicy, Mr. Nick. Slicky Nicky was spicy today. I was like, all right, Nick. He was giving it to the people. I'm like, okay. I don't know if y'all saw, but both of the coordinators did press conferences, and I like their press conferences actually. They did a real solid job of like really laying out things for the most part, especially the side. I'm gonna tell you, I was really concerned about the side at first. I made no doubt about it, but he's winning me over. I'm feeling a way different about him than I was about that clown we had last year.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. Definitely for sure, 1,000%. And in the building, we know one person is gonna be joining us every week, irregardless of what's happening. Our girl Philly, first tonight on the comments. What up, Philly? Good evening.
What's happening?
What happening? I know you like that win.
Oh,
but y'all, man, we can sit here about 20 minutes talking about just what we done seen since the win and some of the things that's happening. But you know what? We got these updates coming anyway, and we can talk about a lot of these things in the updates. So we will start with you, my man. What do we have for updates on the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yeah, I mean, just one's coming out of the game here. Jalen Hurts tied Randall Cunningham's franchise record for rushing touchdowns, and he did it during the Kelly Green game, wearing his old jersey. So it was like the perfect time. Jalen even went and kept the ball that he scored that touchdown with and everything. And also AJ Brown, who is player of the week for the NFC here this week. Once again, he has another 125 plus yard game, tying Calvin Johnson's record with 5 games of 125 plus yards. And he has the possibility of breaking it this weekend, man. It's awesome.
And I can be there for it. Let's go.
Witness history.
Let's go.
Half man, half beast. I'm trying to tell y'all.
Boy, yeah, he's on a whole nother level right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, people are not feeling me. This Julio ad is part of what's popping with this offense right now. It's making things just calm. You know that the number 3 and number 4 guys on the depth chart right now, wide receiver, are going to catch the ball. You know what I'm saying? Now, Julio ain't going to catch the ball and bust the ball 40 yards down the field like he did 10 years ago, but he going to make the plays. And he got it up here from all those years of playing, and he's got respect from Smitty, Swole, Batman, everybody. He's got all them dudes respect. Hurts all of them. So when you have that type of player that you add to a team, that's just right there, that's another bump up to get them moving in the right direction. And that's what we needed. But that's not the only boost we got this week.
No, sir. The big news was old Howie Roseman did it again. I don't know how he did it, but he went out there and got us a safety, Kevin Byard from the Tennessee Titans. We only traded 2024 fifth and sixth rounder plus Terrell Edmonds. Who, man, we'll get into Terrell Edmonds here in a bit when we talk about the game and everything. But that's nothing compared to what a lot of other teams possibly could have gave up for the same type of player. This dude is like an all-pro safety. He led in interceptions during one of his years. Dude's been around the league for a while now. This is his first time he's been on another team. So, I mean, he's able to come in here. They're saying that he probably shouldn't waste any time. He's going to be right into the lineup here come Sunday. So I think he's going to make an immediate impact, especially with Reed Blankenship coming back there and partnering up with him. And not only just on the field, but as a team as well. I think he's going to be working with, like, it's going to be great to see Reed Blankenship and, you know, Sidney Brown or whatever working behind him and getting to learn from a veteran as far as safety goes. So there's a couple different things that it's going to help us here within the organization.
Yeah, Byard is if you're not aware, a Philly native.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's definitely had some time with AJ Brown already in Tennessee. You know, and he tweeted Darius Slay once he got traded. So he's a big fan of Slay. He's excited to play with him, and Slay feels like he's gonna make the team better.
Yeah, pretty soon we're gonna have the whole Titans team.
There are rumblings and rumors that we're going after one of their linebackers as well as Derrick Henry.
That would be wild if Howie's able to pull off something like that, man.
I mean, you might as well. I mean, ain't a point of having Rashard Penny in inactive status. Go and get somebody.
Straight up. I would much rather have DeAndre Swift and Derrick Henry than DeAndre Swift and Kenny Gainwell.
They're trying to trade their whole team. They shopping for DeAndre Hopkins already.
Yeah, they just got him too. Like, what are you doing? I'm blowing it up.
It's not working because they know they got to go with Will Levis or Malik Willis now. So they're like, you know what? If we got to get young, we might as well get all this money off the books. That way, you know, we have money so we can go and try to get, you know, players for this defense. I mean, I think it's a good move because you want to get a good line and you want to get a good defense if you have to start a young quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, if those rumors are true somehow and how he ends up doing it, that is like the definition of win now. He's going all in on this year, hoping that we make that Super Bowl and win it. And I mean, if that's a good feeling. And I mean, especially coming off of a good game against the Dolphins here, hopefully we can put something together throughout the rest of the season, get to this bye week. Seems like we're relatively somewhat healthy right now, knock on wood. So it seems like we're in a good position as of right now. So it's all up to the team seeing like what our needs are as of right now. I mean, it seems like we're sitting pretty well, even with this ad, but I mean, there's always work to do. And you know how, if there's a player out there he wants to get, he's going to find a way to go out and get him somehow, and probably for a bag of chips or maybe a 7th round pick or something.
I mean, but y'all just imagine like if we could just get the fundamentals and the play calling and the red zone together and some plays on defense. If we could get the basic things, imagine how we really, truly going to be. Like, we are going to be a monster, period. Mm-hmm. Like, not even joking. And we already know how we can go out there and make it happen with these little deals and get what we need by the trade, because he did it last year. We just didn't have a good defensive coach that wanted to play in the Super Bowl. Everybody else did, but he didn't. So now we got that. And we just got to add a few more pieces in. Man, listen. I'm glad we took that L early because we might not take no more. we might not take no more.
I hope not. I'm interested to see what this defense looks like with him in there, because I do know that I guess he does have some nickel experience as well, and the way this Desai plans his coverages and everything, he does like to put like some 3 safety sets in there, kind of switch some things up. So maybe we can see Byard get switched to like nickel, and then have Sidney Brown come in with Reed Blankenship on certain reps. There's opportunity to kind of mix it up for certain packages going against some of these teams, and it's going to be interesting to see how it works out, because hopefully this helps fix that big old donut hole in the middle of the field,
make it smaller, yes,
make it a little bit smaller. Yes. So this could be huge, because I mean, Desai's defense with him somehow making it work the past couple of weeks, I mean, I mean, we held the Jets to some points. That was more of our offense just giving away points and everything at that point. But the way that he's been handling this defense with so many injured players and having to play people that haven't really got any reps, once we start getting really healthy here, it's going to be scary hours.
I'm very excited, man. I'm very excited. I'm in a place where I feel like there's a lot that can go well for us. It's just a matter of how we make these things happen, right? Just staying healthy, getting healthy, getting the new pieces added in, and getting them the opportunity to kind of go out there and do what they need to do, man. I'm just pumped, man. I feel like for once, I feel good, right? And I mean, Eagles Diva alluded to it. I'm gonna go ahead and drop it out there. I understand this is not a 49ers show, but with the 49ers catching that L and Brock Purdy
back to back
in concussion protocol and not playing this week, and they're starting Sam Darnold, this is a chance to put some ground between us and our biggest challenger. You know what I'm saying? This is a good opportunity.
Exactly. And I did see a stat the other day. This defensive line, I mean, a lot of people were talking about like Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, but as far as sacks go, a lot of people aren't talking about us. I mean, looking at the stats between last year and this year, we're only 1 sack away. I mean, I believe last year at this 7 weeks in, we had like 28 sacks. So far, I think we have like 27. So, I mean, we're like pretty much keeping up pace with what we were doing last year as far as that defensive line. And even as far as like kind of points, like how many points we're putting up each game, we're kind of sticking along with what we were doing last year. It's just not looking as pretty or as flashy as what we were doing last year. Right. So, I mean, the product is there. It's just a matter of, you know, having that rhythm and getting it all to gel and mesh together.
Yep. The only thing I think that we're lacking this year is the interceptions, the amount of interceptions that we have. That's like, if we can get that on point, I'm trying to tell you. And the best thing about it is it's around, like the players are rounded well and they're all getting sacks. It's not just certain 1 or 2 players. Like last week it was Josiah Scott and Eli Ricks, which is a rookie, and Sidney Brown. You know what I'm saying? And then you had Hassan Reddick. Like you could just name everybody from the defense that had a good game last week and only held Cheetah to that and Jalen Waddle. Come on now, because they
And we even got to see a Nolan Smith sack, like his first sack of the year and everything on limited reps. So, I mean, it's just showing how much he has in the tank. And I mean, this should be an excuse for them to give him more reps. I mean, they keep talking about, oh, we're going to get Nolan Smith more reps, but like, we're not really seeing it. I mean, it's this past 2 weeks, past 3 weeks, we've seen him make multiple big plays in what very limited snaps. So like, what's going to happen if you actually give him the opportunity so he can make an impact? Have that Hassan Reddick Jr., like you've been saying.
Exactly. Because he likes to pressure the quarterback. We seen it on Sam, and we just seen it on Tua. So why not?
Hassan Reddick, he is a monster right now. That dude, he was like on a whole nother level against the Dolphins than he was the past couple weeks. Like he was flying around. It seemed like he had an opportunity to sack that quarterback on every single play.
And he ready for Brock.
He's warming up. He's waiting.
Yep.
E-Money Bentley. Go Birds. Fly,
Birds.
Eagles, fly. This is the spot, baby. And we all about interaction over here, E-Money. If you haven't for any reason, make sure you hop onto the Eagles Elite podcast site on YouTube. Drop that like and that sub. But E-Money also says Eagles Kevin Byard. So we ain't gonna hold you because we know you won't hear it at the beginning because we talked about that. But it's all good, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we talked about that. He's gonna be a big piece for us, we believe. That was pretty much across the board, man. We're just excited to have him. We know we need to add another piece, so having him there, nothing wrong with that. Love it.
Yeah, it's a huge pickup, especially with everybody like Reed being full participant coming back. Sidney Brown. I mean, we've seen less of Sidney Brown, I feel like, than Nolan Smith, and every single time he's making some kind of big play. So I mean, get him some more experience going out through the rest of this year, and then through the next couple of years. I mean, he could be a stud. This dude.
Eli Ricks too.
Eli Ricks too. Eli Ricks was making a lot of big plays in this game. So, I mean, we may have hit on some good draft picks here. Or, I mean, a couple of them were undrafted, but we hit on some of them picks here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's good depth to have at the right time.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
So, guys, we got to talk about this game that we had last week. That we had all these great plays and everything happening. Right? We definitely got to recap that. So we got Dolphins game. You know what I'm saying? So we talked about it, but we ain't talked about the numbers, right? You know what I'm saying? Like we kind of rolled into it. We made the transition for sure, but just for those who may not have caught that transition was made. You know what I'm saying? Any other thoughts on this game this past week for y'all? Diva, I know you got some stats ready for us, so I don't want you to waste.
Yeah, hold on. I got you. All right. Get to these beautiful stats that we had.
Lots of receptions, lots of yards, all that beautiful wonderfulness.
It's beautiful, man. Here we go. One thing I don't agree with, Jalen Hurts was still throwing a little too much, but
Yeah,
Facts.
dude's got to stop with them turnovers. Like
Facts.
that one, the dude was running right at him. Like I don't even know why he threw that ball at that point. Like it was going to get tipped.
Hold on, y'all. I'm coming. Give me
that was the interception that made me say, I can't say nothing else about that. No more talk about RDP.
Man, listen.
Because JAH ain't no better right now.
So Jalen he was 23 for 31. Still too much passing, man. 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. DeAndre Swift had 15 carries for 62 yards. I really wanted to see a little more. Jalen Hurts had 11 carries for 21 yards, and Kenny Gainwell had 8 for 16. Where is Boston Scott? Where is Boston Scott? I don't want to see Kenny Gainwell on my TV at all this week, y'all.
I'm over it.
I am over it.
He scored a touchdown last week. Y'all know he's gonna be back.
Right, because he got that touchdown. See?
Garbage time. It was at the end of the game. Dolphins defense was tired. Squirrel finds a nut every now and then.
AJ Brown had another record game. He had 10 receptions for 137 yards, 1 TD. His longest was 42 yards. Dallas Goedert had a record of 5, 77 yards. His longest was 22. He had 1 touchdown. Smitty had 4 catches for 49 yards. DeAndre Swift had 3 catches for 13 yards. Julio had 1 for 3. None for Zacchaeus. And defense. Terrell Evans actually had some pretty good sacks. He had 9. Darius Slay had 4 plus 1 interception. Hassan Reddick had 4. Sidney Brown had 4. Ballberry had 3. Nakobe Dean had 3. Milton Williams had 3. Josh Sweat had 2. Nolan Smith had 2. Zach Cunningham had 2. Fletcher Cox had 2. Nicholas Morrow had 2. Christian Ellis had 2. Jordan Davis had 2. Josiah Scott had 1. Jordan Carter had 1. I mean, Jalen Carter. Boston Scott had 1. Now, see why he's on defense. Keely Ringo had 1. So yeah, like everybody touched on the defense. Like everybody. Whole defense was rocking.
Love to hear it. Love to see it happen.
Yeah.
Wyatt, what about you, man? Any other
Yeah, I mean, the defense did exactly what we needed to, and that was kind of the one we were worried about the most going into this game against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and everything. I mean, we did have, I wouldn't say it's good luck, 'cause you never want to see players get hurt or anything, but Waddle was out a majority of that game, which I think definitely helped a bit. But I mean, that defensive line definitely did what they had to do. They were making Tua uncomfortable, and it started the show. And it seemed, and we were able to shut down one of the best run teams in the league right now and one of the best pass teams in the league right now. Somehow, some way, with this patchwork defense, it was incredible. I mean, they had 17 points, but our defense only let up 10 against this high-powered offense, which is incredible, to say the least. The offense, I mean, we were able to score points. The issue isn't really, the main drive itself. Is once we get down in that red zone. Those red zone is the big issue still. There's really no creativity whatsoever, it seems. We're still trying to do these QB draws. You did it on a first down and on a third down, and you ran a Kenny Gainwell on the second down. Like, what are you doing? Like, why aren't you using Swift running in this, or just kind of doing, out routes or something? Like, I just don't understand why they're not putting their players in the best position possible, or why you're even not trying to throw it too. Like, you're barely even trying to throw it in the red zone. Like, I don't know if he's just scared to throw an interception, have another turnover or what, but they need to do something. Get the ball in the hands of your playmakers in the red zone. Because it seems like the only time we're scoring on like big plays as far as passing is from outside of the red zone, and we're bombing it into the end zone, So, I mean, they need to really get that figured out if we want to go through the rest of the season and try to make a huge run through these playoffs, because you're not going to be able to compete in the playoffs if you're not able to score in the red zone on damn near every trip. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I don't want to see Jalen throwing it nearly as much as he did. I mean, it was 31 times. It wasn't too bad. 11 carries as far as runs is a little too much for Jalen as of right now, especially with the injury, which I don't even know if you want to call much of an injury. He's not on the injury report. But I mean, Kenny Gainwell, 8 carries for 16 yards. That tells you all you need to know. That we've been seeing this for 7 weeks now. It's not going to change. We need to see Boston Scott or bring someone else in to try to carry the workload behind DeAndre Swift if they're scared of him getting hurt or something. Or use Rashard Penny. You have him on the roster. Use him. Try using him. Or unless you're planning on trading them or something. Come on now. But I mean, the offense definitely needs to tweak some things as far as the red zone. Jalen really needs to work on those turnovers. I mean, he had a fumble and an interception in this game. Like, bro, you need to find a way to control that ball. Like, we cannot be having this. Like, he already is over his turnovers from last season, all of last season, in these first 7 games. It's like, bro, this is not good. Like, everything else seems like it's kind of working. He's able to put the ball where it needs to be as far as like some of these tight windows and everything, but just some of these dumb decisions. I don't know if he just wasn't seeing the full field, if he's just feeling a lot of pressure that wasn't necessarily there. I don't know what it is, but I mean, it seems like Jalen he does his best work when he has his back against the wall. I mean, we've seen that all last year and we're seeing it again this year, except for that Jets game. But I mean, as long as Jalen Hurts is our QB, I'm confident we're going to be able to come out of these games with the dub. And man, did we ever with this one. I'm glad we won this one, because this kind of gives us confidence going into this rough part of the schedule, like the Chiefs, the Bills, and what have you going forward.
Yes, sir. Oh man, Mob, what's up, man? Appreciate you hopping by. Appreciate that like button. Hey man, feel free to hit that share button if you would like as well, Pimpin. We'd appreciate that. All right, so we have a guest tonight, one of our mini Eagles divas that's hopping on with us. Inger, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're doing good. And you hopped in at a good moment here, because we were just doing our recap of the Dolphins game. And we spoke, and I know you may have a couple of things you want to point out because you were in attendance at said game.
Yeah, it was great. Sunday Night Football is amazing. And they came out, they had so much energy, and it was really great to see them that way. Got a little scary in the beginning, but it was great to see the evolution of how they progressed from the beginning of the game to the end, where they came back and they decided to like actually make some adjustments that were going to help. And so it was just really great to see that. And when you watch it from the box, we're like watching all those plays develop. Jalen looked good out there. He did look confident. I didn't really see where he hurt his leg or when he did do that, but you could see the confidence growing, and that's what was really great to see. And kicking their butts like that, all those Dolphin fans were upset. They were upset.
They were.
Yeah, they tried to accuse us. Basically, tried to say that the refs helped us. But okay.
So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was waiting for someone else to bring it up and not me. But I just want to say, right? I can go if you'd like, if you would like to pity me to come out and send you steals of many different plays that the Dolphins held or did different things that weren't called.
Or
right?
PIs.
So there were things on both sides that weren't called. But when you are egregious in the amount of penalties that you are doing, some of them have to be called, right? So we weren't egregious. I mean, we made some. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, we never had any thing that could have been penalized happen to us during the game. And I will remind those same people there was a double penalty called. A double penalty means there was a penalty on both teams that ended up having a first down negated for the Philadelphia Eagles. So when you want to say that nothing was called against the Eagles, there were a couple called actually. So you're actually not correct. But if you want to continue that narrative, feel free to go on and do so, because guess what? That just means you're just mad because we won. And I want to go back to something that we said a lot last year. We haven't really focused on it this year because we've been so focused on rebuilding the team. But there's this saying, and I think everyone here with me would agree. It goes a little something like this. No one likes us, and we don't care. So you want to complain about what was it called? You want to try to say we were in collusion with the refs? And I just want to say one other quick thing. Sidebar. I had some Kansas City Chiefs fans have the nerve, the audacity. I'm going to pull Stephen A. Smith out on you, the unmitigated gall to come to me and say, the referees helped you win.
We know y'all not talking.
You know what my response to them was? I made it real simple. I said, pot, kettle.
Get out of my face. Let them play. Like, I mean, you could see it. They were just letting them play. And it is interesting because, you know, going to regular games and then going to Sunday Night Football, the way that they conduct the game, I really think that some of it is like they kind of have a schedule they're trying to keep. And they just really kind of let them play and then decided what calls they just were going to make. And they had just as many, if not more, penalties that you could see that they didn't end up calling.
Yeah.
Right? You know, we got to get to those like TV timeouts. So, you know, right. I don't want to hear that from them. And they were salty. But the thing is, you say that, you know, we got help. We kicked your butt. We didn't just like win by a touchdown or something. We kicked your butt. You can only kick someone's butt if we're playing better than you are. Like, that's the bottom line.
Yeah, those penalties weren't really going to change anything. And I mean, most of those penalties from the Dolphin side was coming from their offensive line, who was down like 2 or 3 pieces during that game. You had guys that weren't expected to play coming in, and that's where the mistakes happen. Like that's football.
I'm sorry, I got to go back to the Chiefs trying to say that the refs helped us. Not only did the refs help y'all, but y'all had some magic shot that y'all gave Patrick Mahomes at halftime. And he came back out like he ain't never had one injury. So not only did you cheat once, you cheated twice. But you want to talk about us. Sorry, we got to see y'all again. Don't worry about it.
They're just scared. They're just scared. That's all.
That's it.
I love it. I love it. So old man says, I got your brother about to share it now. Appreciate that. He did hit us with the share on Twitter. Got to show some respect. You always been cool and show me. Oh, absolutely, man. That's what we all about over here, man. You know, and then he says, very poignant comment here. I love this. If we being real, Pat's got all the calls. Facts. And facts one more time. And now it's KC getting all the calls. Okay. So that's what I'm saying, man. If you're a KC fan, if you come across this, you're a Kansas City fan. If you had a nerve to think, oh, man, the Eagles getting calls. Don't ever say that. Because you know what happened.
Even Tyreek Hill said that the refs helped y'all.
Yeah. And not just in that Super Bowl, but during the season, the beginning of the season too. I mean, you see it. Like the Chiefs and Pat Mahomes getting that Tom Brady treatment when he was on
I have to always point this out. Pat Mahomes did a jersey swap with the referee.
That's right.
So after that happens, you can't tell me nothing.
Right.
I forgot about
There's
that.
no Eagles players. Jalen Hurts didn't go up and do a swap with the head referee. So after that, you can't tell me nothing about the Chiefs. I've said it before. I've been saying if you want to beat that team, you got to beat them. You can't leave it close, because if you leave it at a layer where there are other players can help you with the black and white stripes that should be outlined in gold and red, it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The fault that we did in the Super Bowl, and I know we said we won't talk about it no more, but the one got reopened, is we let it get close. That was our mistake. We let the game get close.
Well, the
That was our
mistake
mistake.
Jonathan Gannon. That was a mistake. The offense did what
Well,
they
that
had
was-
to do.
That was a year-long mistake. You know what
But on that
Never-
note, like I want to say, like I'm
Anytime you
so
wanna talk
glad
about
we
Jonathan
have
Gannon,
Jalen
I'm
Hurts,
all for it.
who I'm glad Jalen Hurts isn't one of those QBs that's like begging for calls. Like he's very quiet. You never see him very like talking to the refs or anything.
So you
Like,
mean he's
after
not
some of
being the
these plays.
LeBron of the NFL?
Oh, Jalen Collins said he did.
Yo,
Yo, that's
was-
hilarious.
Oh, when Jalen said that, man, when I saw that, I was like, "Come on, man!" But I
He
did
said-
laugh.
I thought, what will LeBron do?
I was like, "Come on, man! Come on!" So old man says, by the way, I'm a Pats fan, so no one can say anything to me."
Oh,
Hey, all I'm gonna say, old man, is this, man. Good job on Sunday. I like to see that.
yeah. Thank
Whoop
you.
a
Yeah.
couple of those teams it's not supposed to. We like to see that. We like to see that.
Mhm.
We like that help. You know what I'm saying? Because we think in playoffs, we think in Super Bowl teams that might get there. Go and do your thing. Go and do your thing. So y'all, I know we have a guest that's gonna be on here in a few minutes. So before he gets here, we got a couple things we got to quickly discuss. If we do this quick. So y'all know how we do. We got to start off with our weakest link of the game. All right. So we have a guest. So Miss Inger, I'm going to allow you to go first. Who was your weakest link of the game for the Philadelphia Eagles?
I thought about this, but but the thing is, they played well, right? So it was hard to come up with like who was the weakest link. And so I guess I would say maybe just like the play, like in the beginning when they went for the touchdown. That to me is the biggest link.
Okay, I'll take that. Wyatt, what you got?
Terrell Edmonds, the burnt toast. This dude, every single big play I feel like that happened, the Dolphins had, Terrell Edmonds was right there to see it. Whether he wasn't just pushing dude out of bounds so he couldn't catch the ball, or just like on that 3rd and 18 as well. Like he was there with Slay. Like it seemed like every single big play, Terrell Edmonds was one or two steps behind. I was like, this guy. And I mean, somehow they were able to trade him as part of that deal for Kevin
Did you
Byard.
say-
So I mean, I ain't mad.
Did you say he was beside every play watching?
Pretty much. No, he was 1 or 2 steps behind.
People, what you got? This guy's wild.
I got Ballberry. Because I was just trying to figure out why Ballberry was playing so close. Like he wasn't even he wasn't even jamming his player. He was just up on him. Like, dude, back up.
The
Ballberry.
commentators were even saying that. Like, why wasn't he jamming him if you're playing that far up? Why aren't you jamming him? He wasn't doing anything, and you know he ain't gonna be able to catch Tyreek.
This is the second game Ballberry. I ain't say I ain't said nothing about him last game.
She
He
said
was one of the
Ballberry.
It's a
Ballberry,
great
that's what I
nickname.
call
I love it. Ballberry.
Ballberry is my weakest link. He should have been a weakest link last week because he got burnt all last week. Okay. But this week he just would not jam the player and play too close. Like Ballberry, bruh. Like
Yeah.
Ballberry ain't doing what he did last year. And Ballberry, get it together, bro.
So I want to say my weakest link is Josh Jobe because he was on the field for plays and he was getting dealt with like he always is. I also could say whoever is putting this man in the game is also a weak link. So I'm gonna stay there because that's what I feel. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel within my heart. That's how I feel about this. We gotta do something about this, y'all. We gotta do something about this. All right, so we do have another guest with the Commanders here. So before I get too deep into going off the rails, you know what we got to do before we bring them on real quick? We also have to talk about the elite performance of the game. So Miss Inger, we're going to start with you again, and thank you for coming on with us and dealing with our tomfoolery.
Mhm.
So who do you have as your elite performance of the game?
Tomfoolery is what we do. And I just kept thinking, I gotta say, last week y'all talking about that hole in the middle of the field, right? And I was just like, I just saw it like a play this day. It was like, oh, And I was so glad that they were able to figure out a way to fill it. So my elite player, though, we all want to say AJ, but I gotta say Jalen, right? That's my dude. He stepped up, and seeing him just, like I said, it just feels like he progresses through the game now. It's before he's kind of came out on fire. It seems like he has to warm up, but as he starts warming up, he sees the field much better. And, look at the score. That's all I got to say.
I like it. Diva, we're going to go with you next.
Man, I got that whole D-line. I can't even just pick one person off the D-line. It's the whole D-line. I can't. It's the whole D-line.
All right. I can rock with that. All right, what you got, man?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go with AJ like everyone on Slade. That's a little obvious. I'll go with Darius Big Play Slay for this one. I mean, he kind of held it down for a majority of the game, and of course he ended up sealing it with that interception towards the end when they were making that drive. And, it seems like he comes up at the biggest moments, right at the right time. Big Play Slay shows up.
Yeah, Unc be coming through. He be getting burnt sometimes. Unc comes through.
Sometimes, yeah, you look a little rusty sometimes, but man, he puts them jets on, or he moves off his dude and sees his opportunity. He takes it.
Well, I'm gonna go with AJ Brown. I'm not gonna let this show go by and we not get AJ Brown. His possible game he had. I was gonna go with somebody else, but since he's just laying out, now I'm gonna go with AJ Brown.
Yeah, I mean, somebody got to pick up AJ.
Man. 10 catches, 137 touchdowns, bowling people over. They try to hurt my man. He gets up and look at him like, chump, you can't do that. AJ Brown.
Man, AJ Brown gonna be playing.
I appreciate y'all making it easy for me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't had to give you like a name. You might have not household names. I'll just laid AJ Brown at the altar and say, here you go. And I'm like, let me get that real quick.
I mean, because we already know AJ Brown gonna be the player of the week for the rest of the season.
Most likely.
But I'm saying we got to get his props too, though. You know what I'm saying? We can't just be like, yeah, because you good every week. We just gonna look over you.
Smitty, my boy. I need for Smitty to get himself together.
Hey.
I mean, he played a few plays, but I need some touchdowns, Smitty. Schmidt, come on, boy. Come on now, bro.
Hey. All right, so we about to move over, y'all. We about to bring it on. I ain't even really calling him a guest, but he like, you know what I'm saying, extended fam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he is.
My man, Couch Coach. What's up, man?
What's going on? I'm here, man. You know, a little bit below 500, but I'm here, man.
I gotta say, man, of all the Commanders fans that I know quite a few. This guy right here is the most level-headed.
He is.
Well, I think I heard one time. Well, Martin's level-headed, but this dude right here, I think one time he got real mad, and that was when they could have made the playoffs and they didn't last year. I think up until then, I never remember in all the years I've known this man, him really getting mad about the Commanders. And that takes a lot because the Commanders had done a lot of things to make you mad. He was doing a lot of things to make you mad. Last week, we was out here about to have strokes on air. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
All right, Couch Coach, what's going on, man? So we got you on. We here to talk this matchup coming up next week. I'm not going to sit here and try to act like we're going to dominate the Commanders because these games have been tight with y'all the last couple of years. Like, we've been a good team, but y'all is that team that it takes us. It's hard for us to get by, and sometimes we don't. So matchup, it's in DC. Love plugging myself. I'm gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Couch Coach, what you got for us, man? What's the keys to the Commanders' victory? Because you almost got us last time. I ain't gonna front.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is this is the definitely desperate times call for desperate measures. This is a game that back against the wall. You don't want to be 0-3 in this division going into the month of November. I think it's almost similar to our matchup 3 weeks ago. I think if you have a situation where I think the elementary sense of how we can win this football game is convert on third downs. Last week, we were 1 for 15 on third downs. So you're not going to win football games when you can't even move the football and continue drives. So I think that's one of the things where I think that's going to be our key. And also get guys involved. I think you look at what Sam Howell, like he did, the game, almost 4 weeks ago where everybody was involved. Terry got involved. Logan Thomas got involved. Jahan Dawson scoring that final touchdown with 1 second to go to force the overtime. Curtis Samuel, had some opportunities in that game. I definitely think that's kind of one of those keys to for us to win this football game. And I think it's just one of those where another thing on as far as from stopping Philly, I think essentially what we're gonna have to do is stop you guys on third down, because that's another one where I think I even thought about a few weeks ago where, hey, if we have a team like Philly who has an explosive offense, I mean, obviously they're the third best offense in the league from a statistical standpoint. If you keep them on the field, they're going to hit their average. And I think that's going to be one of those things where Washington really needs to tighten up on third down defense. I know that's been one of our biggest issues probably since I've known you, Cool, and probably even beforehand. That's been our biggest issue is third down defense. So I think if we can take care of that business, and I think my biggest thing with this Washington team, they just got to play out here with passion. They got to play out here with anger. I mean, it's almost like they need to channel that Jonathan Allen post-game interview and play 60 minutes with that same attitude, that same I'm tired of effing losing for 7 straight years, you know, this, that, and third. So I think they need to come out with this passion, backs against the wall. And, you know, and it's good, you know, it's good to be the last time you see this unit together. I mean, because, you know, Halloween, you know, trade deadline is really, it's quick approaching. And we got some new folks in town, so they don't care. So it's here, you know.
You're on mute, bro.
I'm just talking. I'm on mute. You know what I mean? I'm going to.
You were going in too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a different direction. I'm not even gonna do that no more because I missed the moment. So Inger, you're a guest. Always fam, of course, because you know you Eagles. If you Eagles, we fam off the gate. So, what do you think are the keys for an Eagles victory on Sunday?
Well, I agree, but I mean, we need to do those long drives, right? Just keeping them off the field, doesn't allow us to have it where it's going to even get close like that. So making sure that we keep those drives going, and it's just division games. They know us, and we know them, but not having that be like the driving force. I think sometimes because it's a division game, like you draw in instead of like expanding out, like you also like they know us and they're going to be able to do stuff. And it's like, we need to make sure that we win in our division, where it's like, just do what you're doing. Just keep the drum beat going, and we'll beat your butt. Sorry. we will beat you.
So before we go for this, 2 things I gotta highlight here. So old man says, appreciate it. It's been real quiet in Buffalo, New York. These Bill fans won't even talk to me. Yeah, that's true.
I was laughing at this one,
No, we're good. We don't want that.
Take him, please. I'm begging you.
No,
we're good.
We're good.
We just scooped a wide receiver.
But y'all can have Quez Watkins if you want him, though.
Yeah, we'll trade you Quez Watkins. You gotta give us one of your other pieces, though. We don't want Devontae Parker.
No.
So we'll take Devontae Parker for a half a pack of Newports. And the other half of the pack, we're gonna sell as Lucius.
He said he'll take Quez over Parker. Woo.
He says deal. I ain't not messing with him.
Sold.
Diva, what are your thoughts on this game, Diva?
I hope our defense. I think that our defense needs to come out and pressure Sam Howell because I didn't see that pressure last game at all. I mean, the offense as long as they can do what they did last week, maybe cut down Jalen throwing the ball and running the ball as much. I'm not too worried about that, but hopefully the defense has finally got it together. We got new pieces coming in, and we're finally starting to gel. Decides finally starting to figure out, where to put his players in good positions. He understands his defense and the players, unlike Gannon. So yeah, we just got to get pressure on Sam Howell. I mean, you pressure Sam Howell, shut him down, they ain't going nowhere. Period. Run game, we can shut that down. We've been shutting that down, but you definitely got to shut Sam Howell down because we didn't do that. We let him get some plays, a lot of deep balls off, a lot of just screen plays off. So pressure on Sam Howell. That's it. We got it in the bank.
What you got, Wyatt?
Yeah, I mean, just pretty much echoing what Diva said. We got to put the pressure on Sam Howell because I mean, the big difference here is we have some more some more continuity as far as our secondary and our defense since we played them last. We have the addition of Kevin Byard here, who I think even just coming in on the week of the game, I think he's going to be a huge impact, help with that donut hole in the middle of the field. And I think just being able to be, playing against them before, seeing what Hal's able to do and how he plays, I think we should be able to be kind of better game plan against them this time. Should be a little bit more evenly matched. It seems like we always play Washington better in Washington than in Philly for some reason over the past couple of years. So I'm hoping that kind of comes into play too. As far as our offense, definitely need to figure out that red zone issues big time. This is a good time to do it too. And also, I want to see some more RPOs as well. I feel like Jalen's kind of by himself in an empty set or shotgun a lot of times when he really shouldn't be. You should be giving him more help, give him that option to hand the ball off or just have a short dink or dunk pass. Seems like they're really trying to go for a lot of these huge chunk yard plays like 10, 15, 20 yards down the field when you got to get Jalen in a rhythm. And it seems like that's kind of what they struggle with for the most part, at least kind of towards the beginning of these games or like right going in the halftime. I don't know. You just got to find a rhythm for the offense. And I think we should be good to go. I mean, that defense, I'm not as worried about that defense, especially coming off this Dolphins game. But the big thing is make sure to put pressure on Howell and cover the middle of that field. Because, I mean, they were destroying us across the middle of the field last time, especially with like the tight end they had.
Well, I took a lot of what I was going to say. So that's all good, man. That just means that we're on the same wavelength. It's all good. Old man Mob says he'll take Watkins over Parker. So then what that tells me is that and he says you could have said a penny.
You could have a penny too. We ain't using them.
He says, I'm telling you, N'Keal Harry 2.0. I mean, Parker's good in the red zone. He can block really good. Plus, he's a 20-80. So I'll say this. I'm going to rescind my offer of a half a pack of Newports because those are too valuable for what you're telling me. And I'm going to offer you a Sprite Zero can. So that's what we'll give you for a can Sprite Zero.
Not even a regular Sprite Zero.
A can Sprite Zero. And it can be chilled, but that's what we'll give you for it.
Well, the problem is he might be getting the red zone, but we ain't figured out the red zone yet. So we won't be able to use him in the red zone no way.
But that's the thing. Maybe he can help us in the red zone, right? And we don't have to put him on the field nowhere else. So we only use him in the red zone. But
we got to figure out how to be creative and use him in the red zone. We ain't even figured that out. We don't even throw in the red zone.
At least a can of Sprite Zero, that's all we giving up. I can pay for that myself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just one can of Sprite Zero. Shield. So it's going to be like $1.50. You know what I mean?
You said at least the can is worth more.
Savage.
Hey, that's my kind of fan. All right, so Couch Coach, I'm going to let you go again because obviously you're a little outnumbered this week. I couldn't get my man Martin on with you today, so it's all good. But I know we asked you, like, what can you do to win? But what do you feel like would be a pivotal matchup that we all need to be watching that's going to help determine the outcome of this game?
I think when you look at it, you want to look at our secondary versus A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, I think. And then now you add Julio Jones into that factor because you look at, A.J. Brown, essentially he sliced us up in that matchup. He had 175 yards, 13 targets, 9 receptions, and 2 touchdowns. And we kept on saying, oh, well, we're going to get you. We're going to get our lick back on October 29th. We will figure this out. It's one thing where you look at now, obviously how our secondary has played in the last few weeks, a little questionable. Coming off that Atlanta win where we had, Kendall Fuller had an interception. Ben St. Juice got his first career interception. You just want to see what the secondary is going to do, and will they get their quote unquote lick back from from the victory on October 1st.
All right, Ingrid, what about you? What do you think would be a good matchup for us to be paying attention to for this game?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm really not sure. No, I'm not sure. So I don't know. I'm going to pass
That's
on
fair.
this one.
That's fair. So I'm gonna go for me, and it's gonna be a combo right here, right? So the matchup of Jalen Hurts versus their defensive line, because our line is going to be able to block right, but only for so long. There's going to be times where someone's going to get through, and Hurts is going to have to make a play, either quick reads, get rid of the ball at times. As Wyatt said earlier, which is why I didn't even go. A big part of my argument was based around the RPO and how we don't use it. And then Wyatt just took it, which, hey, it's fine. It just means it was a valid point. But I think we need to use the RPO this week. We need to start reincorporating that slightly in there. That gives him the option to see, look at one player and say, I'm going to decide what I'm going to do based on what that linebacker does. If that linebacker sneaks in, I'm handing it off. If he goes deep, I might throw it. I might run it myself. So we need to be using that a little bit more to make things a little easier at times for Jalen. I think when we get in the red zone, we're asking him to read everything, but it's a condensed field. So maybe some RPO there would help. Also, got to shout out my boy Rob. I was wondering if Rob was going to slide through the night on us or not. Rob, Fly Eagles Fly, what's up, man?
What's up, Rob?
But that's the thing, how Jalen can perform against that line, how we can use that line, how we can manipulate his coverage. Hopefully he does this crazy thing called calling audibles a little bit this week. I just want Jalen to show everybody, because I know he can do these things. I've seen him do it before. I want him to show everybody in these big time games when people are watching, like, I'm the guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm QB1 for a reason. And I know he can do it, but I feel like at times he allows the coordinator, the head coach, and whoever to kind of get in his ear and have him playing a little differently from what's the best way for Jalen to play. Jalen, you make more money than both of those dudes, man. Do what you got to do.
Facts.
All right, Diva, what you got?
Brandon Robertson, because he did score some touchdowns on us last game, and their wide receiver McLaurin, who also scored a touchdown. So we do definitely got to watch those two. But I'm excited to see AJ Brown, and they do got a good running game, so you got to watch that running game, because we didn't really do too well stopping the run that game. We got to do a lot better. But yeah.
Last but not least, sir, it's on you, Wyatt.
Man, you got me this time, because you took my answer. I was going to say it was going to be in the trenches in this one. It was like Jalen Hurts versus that defensive line. We've been seeing it through a majority of the season, especially the past couple of weeks. Either he's just holding on to the ball too long, or just kind of that right side of the O-line, not necessarily on Lane's side, but like where Opetta's at when Lane was out, that right side of the line can be handled a little bit. There's a little hole there that some teams are able to get through, and it's just able to put pressure on Jalen. And that's really what we've been saying through the course of the season is if they're sending everything, if Jalen's not able to find that quick read, he's probably going to get that sack or try to get out and then either slide or he just ends up throwing it out of bounds. It's really going to be up to that defensive line going against Jalen, just some quick decision-making. Like you said, cool. Try to do some RPOs, get the ball out of hands as fast as possible. If you have to, run out to the outside, try to get some other screens. We saw the tight end screen involved last week with Dallas Goedert, start doing those, even some to Swift, even just have some rollouts. We've been barely seeing any rollouts as of recently. Pretty much all year, we've been barely seeing any rollouts with Jalen. He's not on the injury report as far as his knee. So as far as right now, he doesn't have a knee injuries because he's not on the injury report as far as I'm concerned. So I don't see a problem with him rolling out or running if he needs to, just to kind of get out of danger. But it's really going to be up to Jalen. All eyes are going to be on him and that knee this week. And as far as those turnovers are concerned, he's got to stop. Like, this is the game where you really can't have any turnovers if you want to win too.
I just got to say, this right here, this is wild. Old man says, right now, I'll take Freddie Mitchell or Toddy Pinkston over Parker.
4 for 26.
Hey, I just got to thank these hands for being great. Yo, Freddie Mitchell was one of the best interviews I remember from back in the day with the Eagles. This dude was clearly hilarious. He clearly was joking, but he said it with so much sincerity. You know what I'm saying? And then Todd Pinkston, I love Todd Pinkston when he was on the Eagles because he was an Eagle, but I mean, I get what you're saying, on man. I'm just gonna put it like that. I get what you're saying, bro. You know, wow, that's tough. That's tough. But so we are gonna go around here. We'll start with Couch Coach, then we'll hit Miss Inger, then Diva, White, then myself. And we're going to just any last thoughts that you have, and also please allow the people to know where they can find any work that you're doing. Couch Coach, you can set it off, sir.
This is a season-defining game for this Washington Commanders team. If you really want to see the guts of this football team, it's going to be Sunday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Will this team show up for this game, or will they once again wet the bed? We're going to find out about this football team, and this is the beginning of the end of this Ron Rivera era, which is definitely imminent. And so definitely, my initial podcast, Couch Coach Live, Wednesdays, 8:00 Eastern Standard Time, couchcoachlive.com, social media, Couch Coach Live, pretty much Facebook, Twitter, X, and we're there as well. And also my Commanders centric podcast, Thursday nights, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time, Commanders in the Chat, pretty much social media, Commanders ITC, that's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube as well. And Eagles, and also NFC Beast, oh my God, cool, on Saturday nights, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time. There's so much going on, cool. That's why, testament to you, what you doing, I always commend you, because you do a lot. I do a minuscule, but there's a lot going on, but you do a whole hell of a lot. But
yeah.
So, 9:00 Eastern Standard Time, NFC Beast.
Yeah, I agree. You do a whole lot of stuff all the time.
Appreciate it, y'all.
And I just want some different play calling though. Sometimes it just feels like it's all the same play all the time, and it's so odd to see it that they were so innovative before. I heard McNabb say that Jalen, here he is like trying to be like McNabb, and I was like, oh God, no, please don't do that to him. Please don't put him in that box. We see how much it killed Donovan. So that's what I want to see, some new and different, innovative plays like they know that they can do, and just let him loose. Can you imagine if they let him loose? We're already so good, and they're not doing that. So
I know.
That's my biggest thought of the game.
I love that.
So you can just find me at Ingershay on Instagram, on Facebook. I also have a group, Black Women with ADHD Executives and Entrepreneurs, because I'm an ADHD coach for Black women leaders. On LinkedIn, on all the socials. If you see Ingershay, that's me.
I knew the Eagles Diva would clap for that.
Yeah. Well, Black women, we got to be entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? But back to, just to echo off Ingrid, I want to see, I want them to lock themselves in a room, and I want y'all to go back the bye week, all week, be locked in a room. And I want y'all to look at film from last year, and I want y'all to learn how to be creative in that red zone, because it ain't no excuse. You got film showing you what you need to do. It ain't no excuse of why we not doing what we did last year, if not better. Okay, so bye week, I need for Nick, BJ, and Jalen to be locked in the film room all week. Y'all ain't leaving that room until you figure it out. Okay,
and move some furniture around while you in there too.
That too. All right. But you can find me on all social media platforms, streaming platforms. I'm on Twitter at CMCobb1 or CM Cobb. I am on Facebook, Instagram. You can catch me on YouTube. I got my own podcast. You can find me on any major streaming platform that you get your podcast at Black Light Mass Incarceration Show. And that's me.
Well, I'm going to throw you a bunny, sir. I'm going to allow you to answer a question too when you go. And if anybody else wants to chime in on this, feel free to do so. So the question comes from Old Man Mob here. He says, what should be my expectations on Jalen Reagor? He more than likely is going to be the 53rd main roster for the Pats.
I'll make this real simple. Don't have any expectations. then you don't have anything to worry about. Dude probably not gonna make your 53-man roster. You're gonna be on a practice squad somewhere else. Probably not gonna be on your team much longer. Maybe the rest of the season, but you probably won't have to worry about him. So the best thing to do is don't have any expectations as far as Jalen Reagor. Oh man, I don't know if you want to take it from there.
I know, man. You got it. You got it.
Go ahead. Okay. I didn't know if you had anything to add to that or not.
You said it perfectly. Don't have no expectations. You said it perfectly.
But yeah, as far as the game though, we just got to control the time of possession, limit them turnovers, and keep doing what we're doing. Otherwise, we're have a couple game lead here as far as the NFC East. We're up a couple games, and as far as the NFC is concerned as a whole. So we just got to keep that lead. Keep doing what we do, and we'll be fine. Chase that home field advantage at the end of the season going into the playoffs here. I mean, it's a long way out, but that's the journey.
So old man says, okay, the same as I have for Parker and Juju. Appreciate it. No problem, man. We like to be honest. We like to be honest as we can around.
You could at least have a little faith in those guys. They're well-known names. I wouldn't say the same about Jalen Reagor, though. But yeah, I mean, you can find me pretty much anywhere as far as Twitter and Instagram at WyattRegard, and my other show is at Cinema Trip Reviews on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. You can also check us out on Twitter and Instagram there as well.
And FYI, due to y'all and everybody else who's been hopping on, my man got the 500 subs for Cinema Trip Reviews, so that's dope, man.
Yeah,
congratulations, bro.
Today. Thanks, man. And I want to thank everybody that actually tuned in. I appreciate it.
I be peeping from afar. I be watching. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, I'm just gonna highlight two things because there's a lot of different places. And anybody got time for all that? Y'all don't want to hear all that, and you're not gonna listen to it anyway. So on Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, if you are available, you hop on your TuneIn app and go to WDJY, WDJY FM on your TuneIn app. You'll find my Play Caller show along with my co-host on Sundays right before you get ready to watch your game. So at 12 noon before the early games. If you go to WDRB Media on that same TuneIn app, you can check out Cool of the Game. We're talking all things sports, and we always end with the picks to lead you right into the games. So just a couple of places we can find some of the things I've had going on that just started here the last couple of weeks, a couple of months. Lots of shows. If you subscribe here and you subscribe at playcallersportstalk.com/live, you can see most of the things that I'm doing between those two avenues. For the Eagles, hey, we hit a win. The Commanders are going to be a tough game. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that we're going to walk in there and walk over, because this is a team that historically we've had a hard time sweeping, right? We won the first game. I mean, honestly, truthfully, we both made a lot of mistakes in that game, which is why it was where it was at. But it's time to start making a change, Philly. Like we want to go to a certain place, right? We want to be at the top of the mountain. We want everybody else to be strolled across the ground with knives in their chest, and we stand at the top with the one bloody knife. So in order for that to happen, we got to start winning some of these games, right? We lost to the Jets. That's an embarrassing loss. But we need to just win every game that we can. Don't worry about what happened the week before. Don't worry about what's happening the next week. Focus on that 7-day period around that game that's coming up. And let's win them. This is the first chance to, kind of come off a high and see if we can carry it on and just do what we got to do. I don't care if we win by 1 point. I don't care if we win by 30 points. Because all the books know is wins and losses. So as long as we can win this game by 1 point, I'm happy. We win it by 10, I'm even more happy. We lose by 1, I'm definitely not happy. But, hey, you can't win them all. But let's try our best to start getting as many dubs as we can. Let's start moving in that direction like we were doing last year. Like Ms. Inger said earlier, you start building off of what's happening. Jalen, be the guy you were last year. Like Diva said before she had to peace out. Get in that room in the off week, move some furniture around, get yourself some room, and go for what you know and get this thing figured out. So, hey, with that being said, y'all know it's one other thing that we have to do before this show is over. Definitely want to shout out Couch Coach for coming on. Shout out everybody that's on the panel tonight. It's always great when we're able to get together and make this thing happen. But Couch Coach, you know what we got to go to now. Oh, man. And old man, with our last comment here says, great stream. Appreciate you for streaming. Hey, man, we appreciate you for watching. You know, watching,
Definitely.
sharing, man. Those are big things to help, you know, help us grow, man. We trying to make the thing happen out here. We have a good time. We like to be interactive. We like to, of course, talk about the Eagles. But as you can tell, got a little knowledge about other people too, because it's a whole big league out there. And we never know who we might have to take down. So we got to see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. So with that being said, we're going to end the show for the evening. Always, of course, we ended with a nice fly, Eagles fly, a hashtag
Fly,
be elite.
Be elite. Go Birds.
And
Birds.
yep, we got one commercial and then we out.
This is Brett, and you're watching Shady Sports Network. Tune in, hit that like button.
You might wonder, what do these guys do? Player signing announcements. I never in a million years thought you would actually come on to break this news. So without further ado, go ahead and tell everybody what happened today.
Yeah, man. I just had to work out with the Cincinnati Bengals. Signing me right out.
Without further ado, I'd like to announce that, I'll be taking my talents to Salina Liberty.
This just in, the Major League of Football is reportedly collapsing, unable to pay hotel room bills, with players being kicked out of their rooms and hotel managers asking them to leave voluntarily without issue.
And just one more time, y'all. We out. Fly, Eagles, fly. Hopefully we'll be back talking about a win next week. Hashtag be elite always. And let's get up out of here.